Hello, my name is David, and here recently a young lady by the name of Deija, she actually sent me two Coca-Colas, a cherry Coke and a regular Coke that say share with David on either side, and I thought that was so nice of her. And what I thought I would do is I thought I would make her a pen. You say a pen? Yeah, a pen. We're going to make her a pen. We're going to use a blank, is what they call this, is a blank. And what I've done is I've cut it in half and drilled holes in it, and I've inserted pen blanks into it. And so we've got it ready to put on the lathe. So here's what it looks like. Two blocks. Let me get the lathe set up and we'll turn her a pen. Alright, here we are at the lathe. We've got our two blanks. We're going to put them on what was called a mandel, and that's the piece here. We're putting in a couple bushings to give us a little space. So we'll slide in the first blank, slide it up to the bushing. Then we're going to put another bushing on to put a space between the two blanks. We're going to put in another blank. Then we're going to put in two more bushings. Slide up the headstock, lock it in place. Crank it down here. Make sure this turns. So now you see the two pieces that we're going to use. Adjust our rest up against it. Probably need a little closer. There we go. Alright, and we're going to use a couple of tools. This is a gouge, and we're going to use it to knock the edge off, and we're going to use it to make it round. So, let me start it up, make sure it doesn't, safety first. Put my face shield on, start it up. Turning pretty good. You can see with the, it is pretty square. So we're going to straighten it up and we're going to make a pen. Here we go. I think that's about the shape I want for the pin. So with the lathe still running, we move out the tool rest out of the way, and we're going to actually sand it down. And we're going to start out with 150 grit sandpaper, and we're going to sand down the flank. So it's starting to smooth out a little here. Notice it changes, I hope on the camera, it changes colors a little. Changes a kind of scratched up looking piece. Here's where we want to get any kind of a tool mark or anything we made, any accidents, any boo-boos. We want those erased right here. And we do that with this 150 grit sandpaper until we get it to where we think we want it. Still looking pretty scratched up, huh? All right, now we're going to bump up to 600. Now, with 600, looks pretty bad, but it's smooth. So what we're going to do in order to give it that high quality shine that you're expecting is we're going to use microfiber on it. And I have the microfiber. Let me step over here, I've got it. Ah, it's on the other side of the room. Alright, so we got it. Got our microfibers. Got our water. You said you should have been better prepared. You knew you were making one. But we're going to start out with our microfiber. And we're going to go all the way up to 12,000 grit. So we're going to start small here. This is around 1,500 grit. Starting to feel smooth. So we'll head on up the pads till we get it totally buffed out. Starting to get an idea of what it will look like. We're about halfway through the pads. Each pad gets a little finer in grit. All right, to the last one. After this one, we'll use a little bit of cloth and clean it up. grab a cloth here. Here we go. All right, if my cameraman will zoom in, we'll take a look at what this is going to look like. Going to turn off the lathe, and you get an idea of what the pen's going to look like right there. Alright, let me get it off the lathe and we'll get it in the pen press and put it together. Hey, we're back and I have the two finished barrels, pieces of the pen, and we're going to actually assemble the kit. I'm going to put this one down, and the kit comes with transmission ink, the nib, spacer, and the ink capping clip. And we're going to start by putting the ink capping clip on. So it has a little gold cap or gold plug, and then it has a clip that goes on it. And you put the cap into the clip, and then the clip you're going to put into the pin itself. So we're going to put it like this, but I have this handy dandy little pen press, so we're going to put it in here, we're going to hold it, and we're going to start it up until it makes contact. Make sure everything looks straight. We're going to start it. Now I'm going to take it out and look at it because I want to make sure everything's going in straight. And it looks good, looks good. Okay, we'll put it back in and finish it. Put it back in and finish pressing it in. Make sure it's straight. Undo it. And we have the end of the pen. Now, to do the front half of the pen, we got to put in what they call the nib, or where the ink comes out from. And we're going to look it over and see what we like, see if we can match up the colors a little. And I think we're going to use this end. You line it up, there's a little hole there. Let me open this up a little more. Put it in here, and we'll line it up with a little hole that's located right there. Line up the pen. Make sure everything looks good. Slowly press it in, making sure everything goes the way we want it to. Press it in. Now, we've got the nib, or the gold part, pressed into the front. Now, in order to put the ink in it, we have to put in a transmission. And so we've got a transmission here, and we're going to press it in here, and then the ink will fit into it. So let's do that. Line it up here. And we're going to go to the brass end of it. That's where you're supposed to go, and you're supposed to test it to make sure. So here's a refill cartridge. You can get these. It's a cross refill. You can pick those up at a lot of places once this runs out. They ship it with a little bit of glue on it to keep it from drying out. We're going to put it in, twist it in, and then we're going to turn it to see how far out it comes. And that is not quite enough, so we're going to have to do it again. Put it back in here, go here, press. That ought to be enough. Let's try it. Stick this in here, twist it. A little more, I'm afraid. So we'll try a little more. We'll go to that. Try it again. Ah, it comes out just right. Go back in. Now, we've got the front, we've got the back, and in the middle is a gold ring. So I put the ring in by forcing it across the transmission down into place. Then try to line up what we think we want it to look like. And we want it to look like that, so you push them together, and now you have a pin. And if you twist the pin, it goes in, twist the pin, it goes out. My cameraman can zoom in on that so you can take a look at it. And I want to thank Deija again for the cherry Coke to David and the regular Coke to David. I appreciate it very much. And I will send this by Miss Carolyn, and she'll get it to you. And I'll send a link to the video so you can see it on YouTube. Thank you very much. You have a good evening. Bye.